to the break room. Today we're talking about Barbie. It's finally here, folks. I'm Brandon Barrick, and joining me today we've got Erik Voss.
Hi, everybody.
We have Tommy Bechtold.
Great to be here with the original four breakers, Zach, Jessica, and Brandon. Holy smokes. You asked for it and you got it. Are you not Zach Huddleston? I don't know. All white men look the same to me. Good luck to the U.S. women's national team against the dreaded Vietnam.
The Twitch people don't know what's going on.
And of course, Tommy mentioned it, but all the way over from the ringer, we've got Jessica Clemons.
Happy to be back.
She did it again.
She did it again, folks.
I like to keep the continuity, and sticking out my tongue while I say hello is the only way to keep that continuity.
Oh, okay. I respect that. Folks, we're talking Barbie today. We hope you've seen the film because we're definitely going to spoil this movie. We won't talk about all the ins and outs of it, what we liked, what we maybe didn't like.
Way too much nudity.
Absolutely not. So let's dive into it. Stick around. As long as you don't love being spoiled and you won't get angry with us, but we're gonna spoil the movie, okay? So let's get into it. We're gonna be uploading this to our Breakroom channel later today, so it'll be available to watch over the weekend if you haven't seen it yet. You can save it for then. We're gonna be reviewing this movie by giving it a score of 1 to 5 in different categories, okay? You give a half point if you want. You could do 1.5 if you're a monster. And at the end, we're gonna add it all up and we'll arrive at a single number. Sound like a good plan?
Do you guys keep track of all the other movies that you rank, so you
Yes.
have like your own letterbox?
Yeah, we have a very sophisticated system, a double-blind system. We put the scores in 2 separate areas.
I claw the scores in on my wall of my office. 85 with my nails and blood.
I always wonder why your skin is so chipped and crusty over there.
Yes, it's just because of that and not poor health.
That's good to hear. The categories we're going to be reviewing this film in are as follows. We're going to review the script, okay?
Yes.
That includes the story and the writing. We're going to review the visuals. We're going to review the acting, the directing, and finally the sound/score and music.
Beautiful. I just got a Letterboxd account and I've been very harsh on reviews now. So I'm gonna harshly review this movie.
Are you planning on talking down to women? Because those are the only people I know on Letterboxd. Film nerds that talk down to ladies. Suck it, Letterboxd.
Does anyone want to switch seats with me?
No, absolutely not.
absolutely
You're the thorn
not.
between the roses. Erik, are we allowed to talk about this movie? Is that something we're allowed to do?
Yeah, you know what? I think we are because let's talk about the strike. Let's talk strike here. Lucky Strike. No, God. Damn.
We can't talk about it.
Okay,
Fun
I
fact-
have to go now.
Yeah, go. Quick plug for the deep dive. We edited a cigarette out of Roy Scheider's mouth for our thumbnail for the Jaws deep dive. So if it looks a little weird, that's why.
So
because
it's
YouTube doesn't
incorrect.
like cigarettes.
They don't like the
It's
cigarette.
it's faked. Anyway, so. This strike. SAG-AFTRA has informed us at Rockstars that entertainment journalists and outlets like us are allowed to cover movies. We're allowed to review them, movies, TV, entertainment news during the strike. They want us to be able to do our jobs. They want us to be able to report on the strike. They want these movies to be reviewed. They want word to get out there about the movies so that these movies can do it. They want Greta Gerwig to be successful right now. They want all the actors in Barbie to say that they had a huge success. So yeah, they want us to be able to do our jobs, and it's our goal here at New Rockstars to celebrate the artistry that goes into these titles because it is hard work. It cannot be replicated by AI.
Not
Only
yet.
people can do it. Not yet. Tommy's working as hard as he can around the clock on the
Thomas!
technology.
Tommy, stop.
But he'll crack the code. Until he does, we have to support our writers and actors on strike, and we do. We stand with them. Many of the people here at New Rockstars are members of these unions, and we stand with them. They AMPTP come back to the table. Bring a counter proposal in good faith. Stop playing these games, and let's resolve this strike
What
on
an
the terms.
absolute fumble by those idiots. That this weekend, one of the greatest weekends in cinema history, we have not seen this since Mamma Mia and Dark Knight released on the same day.
absolutely.
Dark Mama came out.
Wait, no.
Mama-
Thomas.
Mama Dark.
Thomas.
Why not Night Mama?
Mama Night.
Yeah.
No, Thomas, it's not good. Just keep
Mama
out.
Night. Mama the.
Is Night Mama
Hang
a
on,
Martin
I'll get
Lawrence fusion where you
like
have black?
that.
You know
Hey,
what?
Mia.
I don't think
House?
Dark Mama was taken as a racist thing, but saying it out loud after I read it when someone posted it, I thought it sounded good. I think Mama Night is probably better. Listen,
I think I've called myself Dark Mama. Keep going.
I've called you that. You did not like it.
I didn't like it.
All right. My point is, what an opportunity. We could be having parties. We could all be doing fan screenings. We could everyone adorned in pink and black, launching off nuclear bombs, just tiny nuclear bombs, just having fun. And instead, we got to just, like jabronis, go with our friends and talk about it amongst other humans because these greedy fucks won't back down. You know, it's like 0.2% of their yearly income to fix this strike, and yet they won't. Let's get into grading the script, but let me just tell you something. You know who wishes they had edited the cigarette out of Roy Scheider's mouth?
Who?
His family, because he died young of cancer. All right, let's grade the
Jaws
script.
didn't get him. That's for sure.
You know what got him? All that dancing.
Yeah.
He played the head of a tobacco company in The Rainmaker. Ironic.
Oh.
And the whole time he's like, I actually get this material. I'm all in on the tobacco company.
All right, let's hop into Barbie Land, folks. We're going to start off with our first category, the script. Let's talk about the story and the writing in this film. Of course, the writers are Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach, a Hollywood power couple.
Yeah,
I
think it's kind of interesting. You can kind of tell which parts. It's like clearly Greta had to write a lot of the distinction between like feminism and the patriarchy, and then we have Noah that's probably doing just Ken.
Why is that clear?
Why is that? Because Greta's amazing, and Greta's been showing this off in Lady Bird and in Little Women, and just has always been creating content only for like women's support.
Noah's a feminist.
No, I think. Yes.
He left his wife and children to start a new family.
I stopped for a second because I was like,
Or at least he's into females.
He's into women.
Yeah, okay.
Who is it? Robert Oppenheimer as well. And so, thank you, Tommy. But I think it's kind of funny in the script to see that sort of situation be played along and following in real time.
Brandon, did you see the little Easter egg at the beginning of the movie that it was a Heyday Pictures film?
I did see that.
I popped a little bit for that. Brandon's improv team is Heyday. They're legendary, filled with talented improvisers, and Brandon and Zach as well. So catch them if you're in the LA area. And I guess they had a little something to do with the film. Let's talk about the score and what we gave the score.
Give me your score for writing, right? Is what we're talking about?
Yeah.
No, well, let's talk about the story overall. Did this fit your expectations that you had for this movie? Were you surprised? Were you astounded? Were you disappointed?
Color me surprised. Now, Eric, you had planted the seed in our heads about Barbie being an existential movie from your trailer reaction, or the second trailer, I think, where you're like, this might be a dark film about Barbie questioning her mortality.
Well, you guys had been questioning that too
we
earlier.
We had discussed that too, but I particularly remember that moment. So I went in with in the trailer we get the moment where she's like, "Does anyone ever think about death?"
Right.
But I will say, I think this movie weaves two very intelligent pathways for different viewers. There is on its head some very digestible themes for the 6 to 14-year-olds out there. Also a very colorful movie with lots of slapstick comedy. Not saying 14-year-olds can't get it, but just in case you're not emotionally mature enough to see the deeper themes. Then there is this complex, what does it all mean? Is it all worth it? Is the same thing that's worth it for one person worth it for another person? Is it better to be different? Is it better to be the same? Is it better to follow a pathway? Is it better to blaze your own trail? And it really leaves it up to the viewer to kind of figure that out for themselves. So I thought the story-wise, masterfully. I was very surprised. I knew it would be a little deep. I didn't think I was after walking out of the theater today, I was like, I have to go see that at least twice more to probably figure out what I even think, because I'm basically a 14-year-old.
Yeah, I think the movie was a really great metatextual take on both the consumerist side of the Barbie product throughout 20th century America, and both the emotional side of what it meant to mothers and daughters. And I can't, obviously that I'm not either one of those things, but I'm just kind of quoting my wife who grew up playing Barbies and was able to kind of open my eyes, and quoting Jessica and your reactions and your breakdowns of this. I mean, I have to credit Jessica, you opened my eyes to so much of what was cool about this movie and how this is going to be an awesome movie. So go watch Jessica's videos and everything you've tweeted about this movie. But I'm just gonna say, I think it has Greta Gerwig, some of her best. She's so good at writing these iconic quotes that people are gonna be tattooing on themselves, and it's so good. She speaks for the millennial generation in the way that I think many of us wanted Lena Dunham to be able to do. And I don't want to diss Lena Dunham, but I just think Greta Gerwig knows her audience.
Go off. Let him cut.
Dunham's a traitor to her audience, and she cashed in too early. No, I think Greta Gerwig just gets her audience, and like the way she talks about this movie, she's speaking through these characters. She's like the little Lisa Simpson that could, and I'm so happy for her to have this movie. I'm excited to see what she does with the Narnia movies. I really
She's
admire
making
her.
Narnia movies?
She is, but she hasn't started yet. She said I'm properly intimidated by them, so bless her. And I think the only thing I had issues with this movie is somewhere in the second act. I think structurally the movie loses its way a little bit.
Yes.
But I think on second viewing, it, you get it, and the way it comes together at the end, like holy crap, like that connection between Ruth and Barbie was just like one of the most beautifully written scenes.
I think it was really, I love that last scene. I didn't think it needed to be that long, but I also was like, why are we meeting God? But it, and this is why I kind of give the writing a lower score. Also, I was applauding, I didn't get to finish at the beginning, I was applauding Greta Gerwig for being able to like support women and lift women to a higher standard with her movies, but it also was clearly it stops at that. That's why our lead Barbie is stereotypical blonde European featured Barbie that is Margot Robbie, and we didn't really. It was like, I love that in an interview she mentioned that she has to discuss the negative side of Barbies because there's, for every 2 reasons Barbies are great, there's 20 reasons why psychologically they're kind of bad. And she was like, if they don't let me talk about this, then I'm lying to the people. And I think she did as much as she could with what Mattel and Warner Brothers would let her, but I think that part came across not as much for me in the writing, where it was like more about Barbie, stereotypical Barbie, and not enough about, which I know, the Kens and the diversity in the Kens, but also the diversity in the Barbies, and translating that to straight up Los Angeles, where we're not actually acknowledging it. And that was my only beef, was like, Barbie's so big, it's so expansive, it's diversity across the world in America, and we didn't really reach that in the movie as much as I wanted to.
Can I ask you guys, do any of you know a person named Barbie in real life? Like
I know Barbara's.
Yeah,
No, okay,
Barbies.
no, that's not what I asked. Someone who goes by Barbie. Do you know someone who goes by Barbie?
A fucking dog.
Whoa.
Okay, so that's what I found unrealistic about the movie. The names. Barbie, Ken, who goes with
I know
those names?
Kens.
Name 2 Kens. Ken Knapsack that works here.
Ken Breeze.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a lot of Kens.
All right, so there's...
How many skippers do you know? How many midgets do you know?
You called my bluff. I don't know any skippers. I know no Barbies as well. Yeah, so for me, it's a 1.
Well, we'll get to the scores in a second.
Okay.
I'll say I like the jokes.
I did.
No, it was fun. I was definitely didn't know what to expect. The trailers had all kind of painted this interesting picture of a weird movie, and I thought it was a weird movie, and it was a lot of fun and unexpected. And I did a lot. I did like that both Warner Brothers and Mattel were willing to like take the piss out of themselves a little bit. And like, yes, it's not perfect by any means and could go harder, and it only goes hard enough. But I think in a lot of ways it's a little sneaky little art house film given to the mass audiences in a good way. And like, we live in this weird world of consumerism, and like so many women, especially in America, I guess, grew up playing with Barbies and stuff. And so it's like this weird shared experience. It's interesting to see it from another perspective.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I think the message is really sweet too. That it's like we shouldn't find perfection and beauty in Barbie, but in ourselves and humanity, because our flaws are pretty. And I'm like, ooh.
That was a nice, a great message.
Yeah, I mean, that's one message. I feel like the movie has like 10 or 11 different messages, and I think that's where it kind of lost me a little bit. It was like, Ken has a different theme of the story than is Barbie's theme.
Sure.
When Barbie has his Pinocchio thing at the end, I don't think that's like, that's accurate for what she was going throughout the whole movie.
So it's not Pinocchio, but it's Wizard of Ozzy.
Yes,
and I think
agreed.
that's I think that's where she was. I think she let
Go
that
on
take.
Letterboxd with this. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Why
joking.
me? You haven't got off on Erik, and you haven't got off on Brandon.
I called Eric Zach for the first 5 minutes.
Because it's funny.
I said Brandon was not a good improviser, which isn't even true.
That's not true. You're a great
What do you mean
improviser.
that?
You're
But
totally right. It is
she,
with
when she meant, I was reading an interview. I think it was the Rolling Stone interview where she was like, also she mentioned 29 films that influenced this movie, and Wizard of Oz, of course, is one of the tops. But she was like, everyone gets a Wizard of Oz moment, and I think that honestly took a lot maybe to what you're saying, that every single person had to have an ending. It was like everyone needs an ending. So it doesn't. So she wanted to make sure that every little tail off was so distinct and different from each other. And then at the end, it was like, Wizard of Oz, you're gonna go to the real world. Get out of here, bitch. Get out of here, bitch. But I love it.
I think you're absolutely right. Like the Cowardly Lion getting a diploma for courage is not the same theme as Dorothy recognizing that no place is like home. But I did love that, and especially we just released the breakdown, and I realized that the character of Gloria is her mother. Is Barbie's mother in this movie? Ruth is not her mother.
She's
Gloria
the
is. Gloria is the Andy to all of these toys, because there's a little Easter egg when the weird Barbie, when Kate McKinnon, her backstory, where that is Gloria. You can see Scrabble letters in her tent. So I think that she is the one, her big speech, America Ferrera's big speech, she's identifying all these impossible standards for women, and I think every specific standard applies to one of the different Barbies we see in the movie. So I think I wish the movie did a bit more to establish that every Barbie we see was one of the Barbies in her toy box. But I think that's a fun way to look at it.
I like that.
Okay. Well, should we give our scores on the Rise Up? Tommy,
Absolutely.
you came in at a 1.
Is the son of a mother, the brother of a sister, the uncle of a niece, the nephew of an aunt, the lover of women. I found this movie powerful.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
I found the script powerful.
He's an ally.
Had it been simply written by a man, it's a 5 all day.
Oh no!
But, no, I give the script I don't know. I'm not a screenwriter, but I'd like to be. I give it a 4.5. Great job, guys.
Nice.
4.5.
For its at times thematic incoherence in that it's just trying to do so much. I think that's an admirable trait to try to solve all of societal's ills. I would have preferred if it was clear that there was one at the tip of that spear. So I just deduct a point, 4 out of 5. But otherwise, a really amazing job by Greta Gerwig.
Beautiful, beautiful. Jessica, would you like to give your score?
3.5.
Wow.
I'm giving it a 3.5 because even though the message was beautiful, it was kind of very much predictable. And we knew what was going on, and it didn't take much to make Ken or the rest of the people very funny. They're great actors.
I do not mean I'm not nitpicking with you. I agree with you, but I also wonder what a tremendous task making a complex Barbie movie is for a director. When you have the toy brand and the studio being yeah, but at the end of the day, mothers are going to bring their kid. This movie's PG-13, but there's going to be a lot of people under the age of 10 who see this film in theaters, and it's if it's too dangerous, quote unquote, or too provocative, then it probably ends up hurting them.
100%.
But I applaud what they did, and I like your score. I think your score was really great.
I think there's just too many.
Mine's a 3 now.
I think there was a lot going on. I think if I did take my child, if I had a child, she'd probably be there would be so many storylines that I think she'd ask questions about each one and be a little confused. But I don't think that has anything to deter me from the script. I genuinely love this movie. I love it, and we'll see it 3 more times. I'm just the script-wise, Greta, I think you could have went a little bit harder. I think you could have went a little bit harder, tighten it up. Maybe don't put Noah on it. Let's see. Don't put Noah
you're blaming Noah.
I've always blamed Noah before. I blame Greta. You're out of your mind. Marriage Story, I will be no.
You should have coffee with Jennifer Jason Leigh. Then you can both blame Noah.
Oh, that's true.
I think you're right when you were saying about the script that without Noah, there's much less Ken in this movie. As we were saying before we started recording, there's a lot of Ken in this. There's more Ken in this movie than I thought there would be. But it did subvert my expectations. Kind of like what Tommy was saying, this was more than I would have ever imagined a Mattel-allowed Barbie movie would be. So maybe I'll give it a little bounce for that. I'll put it at a 4.
Wow, look at me with the highest ranking. Maybe I'm just not like other guys.
Maybe.
I think you're the worst of them.
Maybe. Well, let's jump to the next category.
I guess I just was always playing by creeks, with bare feet and overalls on. I'm not like other boys.
I literally was playing by creeks with bare feet and overalls.
Yeah, but you're from country people.
I know. I am.
Damn.
I am. I'm from the woods. Let's talk about the visuals of this film. Let's keep it pink, folks. They ran out of pink, as Erik pointed out in his breakdown, making this movie. Again, we'll give it a score 1 out of 5. The cinematographer of this film was Rodrigo Prieto, who also did Wolf of Wall Street.
He's a great
a movie that I very much enjoy. Production designer was Sarah Greenwood, worked on Sherlock Holmes and Atonement. Atonement, what a beautiful film. But let's talk about the insane visuals.
Who Sherlock Holmes is? Just kidding. I couldn't remember what Atonement was for a second.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is visuals,
Yes.
right? Visual?
Yeah.
Completely beautiful. Gorgeous, stunning. I think they did so much great research. I watched the Architectural Digest on this for every set they built, and it is gorgeous. The making it an open window, making it open so you see her is because she can't hide anymore. When she goes into the human world, she can hide in places, but it doesn't really work. But in Barbie Land, everything's so perfect, you don't need to hide. What's the shame in that?
Do they have toilets in those houses?
They have toilets, but they don't use them.
They have no genitals. They said they have no genitals.
They don't have genitals.
Right,
So
but
because they don't need a drink.
House it has a bathroom, but does it
Yeah,
have a
I had one
toilet?
with a toilet, but I don't think I had one with a bathtub.
So
too,
wait,
but-
when Barbie took that sip of tea in Ruth's ghost office, does that mean for the first time ever her body was just going insane with this liquid like flowing throughout
They
it?
never had it. Yeah.
I guess it never.
And it had
took
nowhere to go.
But I think that is beautiful. Greta talking about using all the sound stages to recreate like a 40s, 50s,
Yeah.
like Cary Grant, freaking Gene Kelly-esque vibe is gorgeous. I mean, spoiler, I'm gonna give this a 5.
Yeah, honestly, spoiler, me too. I think the production design and the visuals is like one of the best things about it. It's
gorgeous.
like the storyboarding of this film, just every shot composition is just incredible. And it's clear that this cinematographer worked on the Wolf of Wall Street because he knows exactly how to frame Margot Robbie. And like every shot is just so well done. The shot of the Stanley Kubrick opening was terrific. I can't find any flaw with the cinematography of this movie or the production
It's
design.
gorgeous.
The practical nature of everything was a really great idea. Like building a whole neighborhood on a soundstage so the buildings are actually next to each other. Her little car was great. And then coming into the real world looked so real in an interesting way. And they stuck out in such a fun way.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a reverse Dorothy going to Oz,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
She's
It
leaving
got
Oz and
grayer
going into a
and darker.
sepia
Yeah.
And
nightmare.
then even that visual and that distinction of like when Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling were actually in like Venice Beach and the fans were going crazy and she was like being like poked and like photographed. It's like even those visuals are real and really good. It's like it's sad because these actors are like in Hollywood, but are like in Venice Beach actually being attacked by paparazzi and fans, and they're like, ah! And Ryan Gosling's like, this is cool.
When Gosling goes to Century City, like the way they shot Century City, that is the feeling of walking through Century City. It's so masculine and gross. It's just like, yeah, we got a gym here. We're gonna go up to Nakatomi Tower and we're gonna blow it up. Man. Like the way they brought, I know this isn't like a visuals thing, but they brought back the Stanley Kubrick 2001 Space Odyssey music. So it was the dawn of Ken in that moment. It was so great. Like everything in the real world was really cool.
I was swatting away a
I saw the film in Century City at a lovely mall, the Westfield Mall in Century
love
City.
Century.
Great,
Get in
it's a
for
great
free?
mall.
Was it a screening?
Not a screening. No, I paid cold hard cash for that.
Just check
movie.
it. Just take it.
I paid cold hard cash for that movie. But when they show Century City, the crowd popped, got a huge cheer, and then when they mentioned Century City, we went crazy inside the theater.
I would have liked to have been there.
I mean, the visuals for this movie are so strong. So I can't afford you, Tommy. The visuals for this movie are so strong that like our entire audience was wearing pink. Like the mall was filled with people wearing pink. Like the movie has seeped out beyond its own borders. Like that's how well designed.
And you went all the way from Canada to Los Angeles to see it.
did.
I saw the movie this morning, early showing at AMC in Manitoba, and it was half full. I saw this movie at 9:15 a.m.
Okay.
First showing of the day, half full theater.
Were people still wearing pink?
There were people wearing pink. The AMC employees, as our producer Dashiell pointed out, have the AMC has made half Oppenheimer. They've made Barbieheimer shirts.
Adorable.
And then like it says like the cinematic event of a lifetime and like the date. I thought someone had just made that shirt and I complimented them and they gave me a weird reaction and I realized now it's because it was their
I
work
didn't know
uniform.
that.
But yeah.
I didn't know that. That's why I was like, I would have complimented them too. Did
Absolutely.
you see the popcorn bucket?
I did not, but I you know what? I love a good popcorn bucket. I think they were sold out where I was.
You know, sorry you guys to spoil it. At AMC, if you go get the popcorn bucket, it also comes with the Barbie doll. That's at Target for $15.99. But
They're
those
selling it for, like,
together,
$65.
$65.
Ridiculous. Well, it's hard to get at Target. It's sold out.
$65. No, it's not. I bought one.
Oh, okay.
I bought one. But they didn't have President Barbie. But either way, just
I want President Barbie
In what
way? In a lot of ways. In the biblical way and in the cinematic way. No,
She doesn't
let me
have
talk
genitals.
about the
Tommy, she doesn't have
visuals.
genitals.
Listen. You can do a lot with two pairs of jeans rubbing up against
Hey,
each other.
yo.
That's all I'm going to say. I've been to Bible camp. Now, listen to me. Let me finish my thought. This is important work. I said I was a brother of sisters. My sisters played with dolls. My mom is a Barbie freak. Now my niece is a Barbie freak. We all play. The ambulance unfolding the way it did. So realistic to the toy.
I got a pop.
You had me at that. I mean, if you are the tagline, if this is a movie for people who love Barbie, this is also a movie for people who hate Barbie or whatever, the more nuanced way they did it. It's so true. If you like Barbie, or if you came to a movie expecting Barbie visuals and are underwhelmed by this, you are unpleasable. It's a 2 for me. 2 out of 5. Because I am unpleasable. No, it's a 5. It's a 5. It's a 5.
That's a 5. What was your favorite visual element? Give me one.
My
one detail
favorite
you loved the
visual
most.
element. It's not the most stunning visual element, but the Kens all fighting with non-lethal weapons in the Ken battle. Pool floaties, suction cup bow and arrows.
So many
lacrosse sticks.
Beautiful.
I guess you could kill someone with a lacrosse stick.
You could do it. You already said your score, Eric, a 5. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, my favorite visual, real quick, is there's a shot after Ken goes back to Barbie Land and makes it the Kendom. And Barbie comes back to visit with Gloria and Sasha, where she goes back to her house and Ken has taken it over. There is a shot of Michael Cera just in the background as they're walking in front of the house, and he's just literally doing this. Like staring at the wall, and he's like clearly framed in the back, and he's just like freaking
like that.
Blair
Like
Witch
that.
Blair Witch projecting at the wall. It's like the funniest like Patton Oswalt in King of Queens type thing. It's like so freaking funny.
Also,
So for that,
all the TVs in Kendom being the horse gets the same like bad like clip art horse galloping. It was
I love
it was wonderful.
that they made Ken a horse girl.
Well,
It's so funny.
what was your favorite visual? You gave it a 5.
I like
what was
this.
your favorite visual element?
Any scene that they were on the sound stage was really pretty. I'm getting really irritated as well. Okay, so
Don't pull back the curtain too much. Don't pull back the curtain too much.
my pants.
They can't. Don't pull back the pancakes too
we're not
much.
talking about Oppenheimer right now.
Oh god. Anytime they're on the sound stages, so anytime they're dancing and it's clearly not Barbie Land, but there's a specific scene in the song that Ken's singing when he goes like this to the camera, and I'm like, this is just Ken or Ryan Gosling shooting a music video, and he's playing around with the camera, and I really like the shots they took during it.
Yeah. I give this movie a 5 on visuals, like incredible stuff. Love it all around. I've got. I'm gonna cheat and say 2 favorite visual elements. One was the Ken fight, obviously, but when it breaks into the dance with them all wearing black and the pink socks.
It's so good.
Just so good. And my second favorite thing was the shot when the FBI talks to Mattel. And the cubicles are lined up.
Oh, yeah.
And there's people walking, and when they pass through the frame, they go from FBI people to people from Mattel.
Yes.
Shot. But like, it was just such a weird little element that they did once, and like, not a shot they did again. And I was just like, that was so much fun. Mm-hmm. What a fun thing.
The Mattel office was really sick. The cubicle.
Yeah, I did like that. Even in the real world, that was still a weird place.
Yeah.
Right. That has the ghost.
Yeah, they all dress the same except for the CEO.
Yeah.
And Connor Swindle.
And yes,
He had the
but he
lead
dressed it the same as all the other.
Oh, he
all
did.
the other like
He
office
did.
people.
Oh, he
that
was
was just
so
a very weird, the chase sequence, all very weird in that elevator scene. Well, we got some more categories to get through, and maybe we'll speed it up, who knows. But while it's Secret Invasion season, don't forget to check out nerdriot.shop, where you can grab some Secret Invasion merch. You can also grab some Barbie merch. I believe there are a few new Barbieheimer shirts dropping today, so check those out. It's a Barbie Oppenheimer combo shirt. This is the season you want to wear it. Let's celebrate good things, folks, and have fun at the movies this weekend. Check out all the merch options over at nerdriot.shop. And join the riot.
Stop, dude.
We're also giving away an e-bike. Our good friends at Hopsco are helping us give away this e-bike. You can check the link in the description for all the details of how to sign up to win it. It's absolutely free. You can speed around town, goes up to 28 miles per hour, 60 miles on a single charge without ever needing to pump those beautiful legs.
We have
Keep
2
them
here.
like Barbie.
I go absolutely bonkers on ours.
Yeah.
I jump one over the other one.
He did it, folks.
And I switch up which one I jump so that there's always a risk we could lose both.
Damn.
Yeah, he's a risk taker,
And
folks.
it's not even a Huffy.
We nor Hopsco recommend that you jump with these bikes. Follow the link in the description below to get started. Sign up for Hopsco's giveaway, then subscribe to the Breakroom on YouTube or Twitch. The link in the description below has all the details you need to maximize your chance of winning a Hopsco e-bike. like. And if you're already subscribed to the Breakroom, follow us here on YouTube. Make sure you still click those features in the link so you get an extra entry for this bike.
And what were we saying, Brandon? If you Venmo us $1,500, we'll drop the bike off to you.
You used to say 2,000, now you've dropped it down to 1,500.
You know what? I don't have health care anymore. I have to look for another way to make money.
You might be losing out on this one. Do this all before July 23rd so you don't miss out.
Yeah.
Link in the description below.
We all got very
Don't be sad. I have health care.
it's okay.
The government took pity on me. All right.
I'm
Let's
a
grade the
doctor.
acting, because what I'm doing was merely acting.
Sure.
Let's grade. How does everyone feel about the acting in this film? Does anyone have anything they want to say?
I
Who
do.
wants to drag it?
I think the acting was great. I can't
yeah.
I think everyone in the film, with one exception. I think with one exception. Well, let's just talk about what was good. Right, first.
Save it. Save it. You
Margot
gotta eat
Robbie-
your vegetables first.
Margot Robbie, the best performance of her career.
Sure.
Ryan Gosling, the best performance of his career. Simu Liu and Kingsley Ben-Adir, better in this movie than they are in the MCU.
Oh,
As actors,
100%.
way more
like it.
entertaining. Issa Rae, wonderful as always. No notes, America
Gets an
forever.
F-bomb.
To the bad one. I need to know who this is.
The great Rhea Perlman.
Okay.
I'm
well,
sorry, I love her. I'm a diehard fan of her sitcom work, but in this movie, she phoned it in, and I think that final moment, I think that's why it drags. Is like it seems like. I think they wanted to bring her in, but yeah, she is Ruth Handler is kind of complicated. She has income tax evasion,
Right.
so to make her kind of this like god figure, I thought it was a little bit weird as a choice.
Yeah.
And I think she was playing it with pure sentimentality, but it just felt like she was almost trying to be like a voice of God, and I think it kind of hurt that moment when it really needed to nail it.
Okay.
But
I
honestly,
get it.
she's not that bad. She's not bad in it. It's just everyone else is so good.
Well, would you lie that on her, or would you put it on Greta?
I put it on her. I think everything Greta wrote for her is so good. It's almost like
Well, Greta's still a director, so she's directing how the actors act.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying, do you think Greta was like, this actually is what I wanted, or do you think there's just as much Perlman could give us?
Think of Matilda. When she says goodbye to her daughter Matilda, puts more emotion in that goodbye than she did to Barbie in this movie. She's done it before. Rhea Perlman's a rock star. She can do it. In this movie, I think she was just collecting a paycheck.
And I'll say this just as a little sausage making process, revealing. I could have said that cleaner. When you are acting a direct, especially someone like Rhea Perlman, the director will often let you sink or swim on your own merit. Like they'll get what they think is enough. And if they think you can do better, they'll direct you, they'll give you redirection, but they're never going to be like, that's not true. There are insane, mostly male directors who will drive someone to a mental breakdown and be like, do it again and do it the way I want. I have a feeling that Greta Gerwig said this will be fine for the movie, but if she wanted her to do it a different way, she probably gave her like a couple of direction notes, and Rhea Perlman is free to take them or leave them because she's, a legend. And I think it's just, you can see in other movies that happens sometimes with older actors where it's like, not old, young actors as well, where it's like, oh, they let them kind of hang themselves. That's a bad phrase. They let them kind of dig their own grave, And again, I don't think she did a bad job.
No, yeah.
I think you're right. I think that especially the pacing of that last scene, she didn't really. Her lines weren't making you feel the way Margot Robbie's responses were making you feel.
The line, we as mothers stand still so that our daughters can look back and see how far they've come, is as good as what is grief, if not love, persevering.
Yeah,
and we all should have been bawling at that line. Many people were.
I mean, I was
the line
crying.
itself
It
is amazing. It's such a well-written
By the way,
line.
they're obviously not talking about Irish Catholic mothers at 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning when their children are hungover, because my mom doesn't stop moving. She doesn't stop moving on 7 a.m. after a night out at the bar. She's banging cupboards. She's throwing the broom around.
It's for
Your night out at
daughters.
the bar or her night out at the
No,
bar?
my mom doesn't even barely drink. She's
Okay.
a mom.
I was
She's got to pick me up and make sure Tommy's safe and tucked in.
No, I was confused. I thought this was like a Popeye scenario where her drinking the night before caused her to be more active in the morning.
No. My mom will drive me home from the bar like a good mom, and then she'll kind of suss out how this is like when I was way younger, like 38, and like she'll be like, how hard did you go? She'll suss it out, and then that'll judge how early in the morning she starts vacuuming, clanging pots and pans around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to wake you up if you're not ready to wake up, but we could go to your Aunt Barb's house to have coffee. She misses you.
My mom will take me to IHOP, and then I throw up in the bath.
Stop going to IHOP. So, everyone's saying great performances. We love to see it. It's early talk. Do you think anyone gets an Oscar nomination out of this movie?
I do.
Want them to. I think they do deserve it. It's just like.
When you say they, who are you thinking of specifically?
I don't want Margot to win for this role, but I think she did really
nominations.
good in this.
Nominations.
Or Well, no, I don't want her to be nominated for this role. I guess.
Okay.
Well, I guess she was nominated in I, Tonya, and I think she deserved it in I, Tonya. I think this year will be kind of hard because we still have like Killers of the Flower Moon, and then
We still have some big. We got some big dogs
That's
coming.
That's the only thing.
Dune 2 is on the horizon,
Dune 2.
folks.
Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom.
Yeah, Aquaman.
I'll murder you
There's that
myself.
animated
I'll choke
movie about the ducks that's coming out that I think is going to really
They showed that
ruffle
trailer.
some feathers.
Oh gosh.
And then there's that Paul
I
Giamatti
cracked myself
movie.
up.
Yeah.
Here's the
But
hill.
but do you think even with all that, like this movie is gonna have a big box office? Do you think it's enough juice to get her through to award season?
Do you think it'll be interesting? Well, yeah, yes, but do you think that the Academy Award, and I'm sorry to be this person,
Don't
the Academy
do it.
Award's gonna not like nominate a comedy performance?
Just get a little hamstring stuff. That's all, guys. I'm good. I'm not cramping.
The duck joke really set him off.
When I am talking,
No, I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
you stand.
I see what I totally see what you're saying.
Right? Because I want Ryan Gosling to get an Academy Award nomination for supporting actor because he's supporting Barbie.
Not lead.
He cannot be lead. He
Even
has
though
his-
the amount of
this is-
screen time he gets, he is kind
He
of a
better
lead.
be
I think
nominated
this
for
is a
it.
great turn for him, especially as he's known for being a more stoic. Not as many. That's since like the days of the Notebook, right? Ever since I want to say not Vice.
Drive?
Drive. Thank you. He's played this kind of like doesn't talk a lot type character. His First Man was like that, which I thought he was great in. Blade Runner 2049, like those. He's very quiet, and this is like a big turn. And
What
the
is
Academy
it?
loves a big turn.
Nice
right?
Guys? Or is it other guys? The one with him, Russell
Oh,
Crowe?
the other. Yeah,
other
he's
guy.
great in that comedy, which he does do a lot more in that one.
So
The other guys might be Will Ferrell.
That's
and,
what Mark
yeah,
Wahlberg.
I always
Mark
get the nice
Wahlberg.
guys.
Nice
though.
guys.
I do too.
Nice guys is rough.
Both great movies.
White chick and the hot chick. Why'd you look at me like that?
Me, Jessica. I was trying to remember that because I was trying to think of
Yes,
that line.
thank you.
I think we should do a guys' night double feature of other guys and nice guys, and then
That
a chicks,
would be
then
great.
a
Me to
chicks'
do
night
white
double
chick.
feature, white chicks and the hot chick. Okay, so here's where I think those are actually both great ideas. Alamo Drafthouse, call us. Let's sell some tickets.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's break some hearts and rip some farts. Now, that's what I do at that theater. Okay, so here's why I think this movie, come award season time,
Okay.
could do better than we think.
Okay.
Oftentimes, a great performance in a film that's not that is an original concept, dramatic, kind of like very grounded film. It's tough to remind the viewers about what they saw. This movie will be so easy. You can be filming Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling and anyone else, like little vignettes of them as Barbie and Ken or whatever. And you're gonna be able to refresh people's memories about this so much about their performances. I think personally, they'll never give Barbie an acting Academy Award. I just don't think they will. I wish they would.
I was talking nominations.
No.
even
I know.
nominated.
I'm just saying. In my mind, they both deserve nominations. I think I agree with you, Eric. I think those are their best performances, and they have great performances. I think the amount of stuff Ryan Gosling does in support of this movie defines that title. And it's easier for me to latch onto the male characters because I'm so masculine. I'm not like other guys, but I am inherently masculine.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is a person who his emotional mood. He plays basically an adult man, muscle bound to this guy with child emotions, right? And I think both deserve. I wonder if Margot will even get a nomination. I think Ryan deserves a nomination and maybe deserves a win. We'll see. My question for award season and a slight pivot: how many songs do you think Barbie could end up with as best original song.
I think it's the Billie Eilish song.
Billie Eilish, Just a Ken, and Pink.
I was gonna
all
say
three are gonna be nominated.
I think they'll nominate
it's
Just
Billie.
to Ken just to try and get Ryan
Yes.
Reynolds to come do
Well,
it
it's gonna-
at the show,
It'll win.
or
for-
someone to do it.
Well, Greta keeps getting
This
fucked
is,
with, but she'll win for original screenplay, and she better win for original screenplay.
Is this original or is this adapted?
it's adapted.
It's
It's based
adapted.
off of a 19th
It's
It's based off of-
Okay, give it an adapted. This is the second time an adapted she'll lose
Well,
to someone
it's
else,
gotta go up to
and it'll piss
Killers
me
of the
off.
Fla-
Killers
it'll
of the
have to
Flower
go Killers of
Moon.
the
I
Flower
will-
Moon.
They didn't give it to her for Little Women. They gave it to Taika Waititi, and I was so mad. I lost $20.
Agreed. She
That's my
deserved it for
choice,
Little
man.
Women. I think Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling are both gonna be nominated, and I think they're gonna win.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right, this is gonna be the year of Barbie. This movie's gonna make
some-
insane
I love it.
money.
Let's bet some money.
It's just gonna be the year of Barbie.
I think you have a good case because I think the Academy has shown in the last few years that they know they have to play a little bit of respect to the serious movies and a little respect to the popular success.
I realized we could have talked about that question that I had during the sound music category.
Look at them.
So I
Give us a nice
apologize,
little
for,
teaser.
That's
guys.
okay.
I'm a little out of practice.
You give us
Okay?
an overture.
Let's
for the
give our
music
final
section.
scores on acting.
Yes, thank you.
Can you win an Academy Award?
And
for
then we'll
voice
do a
acting?
coda.
They do not do Academy Awards for unless it's a special award they do on not on the
For
main.
what?
They don't.
For voice acting.
Yeah,
So
because
across
Andy
the universe,
Serkis was
people
never
can't get it.
nominated.
Yeah.
Or I mean,
Uh,
they could. They just don't ever.
Yeah. Well,
I
let's
think
give ours-
I think the You Got Mail guy won a Grammy.
it was a Tony. Actually.
Get back. No, his name is Tony.
Oh, you're right.
He's
Tony
married
Grammy.
to
It's
Emmy.
Tony Grammy.
Yes.
The AOL guy. Hey, you got mail. You kids know about that, right?
Can you hear me now? Good.
Let's give our final scores for acting. I'll give it a 5. Great performances. So much fun. Everyone had a chance to shine. Apologies to Rhea Perlman.
Yeah. I give it 4. Don't think you had to do too much because they're great actors.
Yeah, 4.5 just because best performances I saw out of so many of them, but just like some of the supporting characters are like, I'm not gonna bring anything to my role because it's not my movie.
Actually, yeah, I'm doing 4.5 because I was like, it does deserve higher, but it was just that I was like, yeah, these are great actors. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Tommy?
Just like my shop teacher said when I said, "How many fingers do you have?"
Yeah.
I give it 5.
Is that a
So,
4.5?
are you giving a 5?
I
or-
think-
Yeah, he
that
lost his
little
pointer
nub
finger,
is-
so I'm giving it a 5. It's a 5 for me.
Okay, all right. Well, we've mentioned her a lot already. Let's talk about Greta Gerwig and how this film was directed. Of course, she was the lone director on this film. How do you think she did on it?
I think she did good.
How does this fit into her patois film
Patois.
so far?
I think she's 3. I think she's 3 for 3.
Don't make me do the
I
accent.
agree. I think she's 3 for 3 as well. But here's the deal: of the 3, this is the weakest.
Okay.
I think I just
Agree to disagree.
I love Lady Bird so much, and I
hate
love
Lady
Little Women. I love that adaptation. This one, I think Greta Gerwig did a better job writing this than she did directing it, and not. Visually, it looks great. Obviously, she had a great connection with the actors. She did most of the jobs of the director, but she needed to be more disciplined on her own script. And it is ultimately the director's responsibility to hone in the script and the story. And I think there are issues where it's only an hour, 52 minutes of a film, and it's a problem when the second act drags a little bit, just structurally. And I think that's a director's job, to shape the story and say no to the screenwriter. And it's hard to be a writer-director. You have to be disciplined on yourself and cut your own darlings. And she didn't do that with this movie. Nope. I don't know. It might have done the movie a disservice to cut it down, because I loved everything that she added. I loved everything as a writer. I loved writer Greta, director Greta. I'm excited to see what she does next, because I think she's extremely talented and she deserves to have a huge career.
She said in an interview that she didn't really kill her darlings. She called them her baby angels. But she didn't have to kill her baby angels. The studio did. She was like, because she was like, there's a lot of stuff I didn't want to cut. And she was like, but the
They
cuts
cut
were
it
made
out.
by her. But I will say, which is different than most directors, she had a hand in, clearly the marketing, but in the trailer as well, which I thought was very interesting. Because not a lot of directors do get a say in the
I mean, it was
trailers.
very smart because this was a tricky movie. I
She
think on
made
paper
sure it
this
was.
was a tricky movie, and we were all kind of like, "What is this going to be?" And that first trailer really set a great.
I said,
tone.
what's going on? What's happening? What's the plot?
Yeah, I think, and I don't want to sound like I'm beating up on it too much, because I do really like this movie, and I think it's important. I love any movie that begins with the Stanley Kubrick 2001 homage. I think it's incredible. I think it does not, despite all of its themes, it seems like the project is just like Greta Gerwig's her attempt to make a good Barbie movie, but it doesn't have like the thematic coherence and elegance that, say, Toy Story does or the Lego Movie does, where it's telling kind of a subversion of the story myth and making you laugh at the fact that these things have sentience and projecting our human emotions on it. I think it's just a little icky how it's like it's okay to supplant our emotions onto this vastly billion-dollar industry product and to elevate it to this kind of level of humanistic importance and weight. And I just felt it just didn't have the same hit that like The Wizard of Oz or The Wiz. And I think The Wiz has a much better, just because the Home, Diana Ross singing Home hits me every freaking time. And I was looking for that kind of moment at the end. I think it is the director's job.
I'm gonna make this place your home.
Tommy loves The Wiz.
That's that song, right?
I hate that song so much. When I think of home, I think of a place.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there, Eric, but it does make me think, as children, especially millennials, like growing up with Barbie, right? They're born into this world of consumerism that they didn't agree to, right? And this is maybe making the best out of a shitty situation where it's like, yes, we have this thing and it is bad and capitalism is dangerous and consumerism is dangerous, but through all that, we were still able to make more out of it and own it in a way and like have this kind of shared experience as children. Where we all were able to do some sort of imagining or play in an interesting way that set us up for what we grew into. And whether that was a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But like, it's an interesting way of looking at it. And again, it's much better than just like, I'm Barbie and this is my story. And
well, I mean, the Barbie animated films were pretty rich in lore.
You wanted more deep lore on.
You want to talk about things written by AI? Yeah. I relate to the concept of killing baby angels.
Okay, here we go.
Basically on a daily basis, I'm killing upwards of hundreds of thousands of baby angels.
They call you the cherub crusher.
That's right. Sometimes in my sleep, I kill baby angels. More so when I was a teenager, but I guess now as an adult. I get what you're saying. But I guess my thing is coming, Brandon. I think
my problem is
or going. I can barely decide. I just drank the fifth of Kool-Aid. Dare me to drive. Yeah, I thought it was well directed. I'm no director.
Let's do our final score.
I didn't get to say anything about this movie.
Say something about
the direction. I agree with everything everyone said.
I love him.
You want to give it your final score?
Yeah, sure. I give her. I listen. Greta Gerwig's career to me so far as a director is like ordering chicken wings. They're all good, they're all delicious, but some wings are more robust than others. This is a delicious chicken wing, but it's her third most delicious chicken wing. So I give it a 3.5.
No, agree?
Okay.
I think the writing's better than directing.
Yes, and I agree with Tommy. I also give it a 3.5, which I think is still a really good grade. I think that's like.
Wait a second. I got to remember. What did I give Transformers for directing? I can't give. I'm bumping mine up. I'm bumping mine up to a 4. I think I might have given it a 3.
Tommy, woman hater.
I think I might have given Transformers.
You put Transformers.
I think I might have given Transformers Rise of the Beast a 3.5. So I'm bumping it up to a 4.
You're wild as hell.
Okay.
I think I gave it a 2.5, but I might have given it a 3.
For your sake, Tommy, the way I always view movie scores like this is like they exist in their own vacuum.
Yeah, in their own vacuum.
I don't think it's fair to compare them across linear things like that.
People will hold you to it, though.
Yeah. You want to know what else exists in the
Letterboxd crowd?
My angel babies. Let's go. Let's keep
Stop
going.
sucking your wiener.
So what's your final score?
4. I'm giving it a 4. It's a 4. It's a final.
A 3.5.
Listen, producer Evan is in what I would best call it an anti-gravity suit right now. It's like one of those things. He's got moon boots on. He's like 8 feet tall, and he's pointing a crossbow at me.
Okay.
He just has a look in his eye like he's going to pull the trigger. So let's keep moving.
Okay. Yeah, 3.5 is a 7 out of 10.
I think that's fair.
And I think she gets a 7 out of 10 for directing. I think that's a good thing. I don't think she should be nominated for Best Director for this movie at the Oscars.
Okay.
What if this movie sweeps the Oscars and beats Titanic?
We'll see.
For most, Titanic's the most awarded film.
It's tied with Ben-Hur and.
I forgot Avatar came out this year, so that's also
Return of the King.
Oh yes.
I'm giving it a 4, and I'm giving it a 4.
I did too.
To spite Erik. To spite Erik, but it's mainly because I'm like, she has access to a lot of things that directors didn't really get to have access to, and she made it work really well. And I like her direction on those things as well.
So you like her direction better than her script?
Shut the hell up.
I'm just clarifying. I think that's a valid opinion. I think that's a fair argument.
love the script. Okay, so to be fair, Little Women's script was impeccable. The directing was immaculate. So that's my number 1.
Gotta get you one of these. Impeccable. Chicken salad.
Coke. Stop.
I
Okay, but no, sorry. Tommy threw me off my groove because he knew
okay.
how to get me. He knew how to get me. Chicken salad. And I'm putting Barbie as 2 because I still think the direction was much better in that than it was in Lady Bird.
Okay.
I did not like all the acting in Lady
Okay.
Bird. It was really hard, and I don't think Saoirse Ronan was actually pointing in the right direction.
Whoa!
Save it for our lady. Save it. Dashiell's about to come across the
How
table.
dare you talk about Saoirse
Come
like
over here,
that?
Dashiell.
Save it for our
Fight
lady.
me.
Oh my God, producer
Episode
Dashiell's
number
now in a
3.
full suit of armor with his own crossbow.
Why has he
Save it
got a
for-
gun?
He's 4'11" though. It's quite a juxtaposition with Evan.
My final score will be a 4 on this. I'm docking it points for how little cars there were on the highway. On to the next category. Let's talk about the sound and the music.
Oh.
Yeah. Ow.
What just happened?
Oh!
I thought it was on his face, a
was
string
in
of
my
hair,
head.
but it was in his head. It's
my head.
And I
God, you
yanked
just
it
ripped
out.
his hair?
Let's talk about the music and the sound and the score of this film. Ooh wee!
Tenderheaded. Tenderheaded.
Tenderhead. The music was by Mark Ronson and Andrew Wyatt. My LP's on the way.
Is that true?
Mine came today. Mine came today.
mine's
I was
supposed to
gonna
come
bring it. I was
Saturday.
gonna bring it
Do you have
here.
a record player?
I have a record
Let's
player.
get her a record player.
I got a record. They put out so many different pressings for this. I had to choose which one to buy.
Well, I had to
There was
get.
like
I got my
20
Age of Pleasure LP, and let me
Okay,
tell you,
here we go.
Ooh, it's fun to just look at the artwork.
Here
on
we
that
go.
one.
There is no artwork. It's just booze.
The soundtrack featured songs from an ensemble of artists, including Lizzo, Dua Lipa, Charlie XCX. I love to see it. So let's go around and talk about the music, the score, the soundtrack. Tommy raised his hand.
I'm just gonna say
immediately.
because
You're gonna drag all the women involved
No,
in
people
this?
more intelligent than me will chime in with something more articulate. Here's the one moment that I really made me go, wow, this is. I mean, the pop songs are all great. Dua Lipa, Lizzo, Charlie XCX, which I only like a year ago realized is Charlie SEX, but she does X. It's Charlie Sex. That's the joke of her name. Sorry, kids, if you're watching. Do we have any 8-year-olds watching?
I didn't
Anyway,
get it. I
I
didn't
thought
get
that was
any of
great.
that.
But the fact that the opening of Dua Lipa's song gets distorted and slowed down when anytime Ken's Breaking
Yeah, yeah.
Bad, that ba 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 is
didn't notice
the
that.
sped up version of the strings. Whatever, I can't, whatever.
I didn't notice
I thought that was brilliant. I thought it was really good. Every time it made me remember. It was like a nice little I feel smart watching this. I loved it. I love the music. The music was great. All the original songs, like I said, I feel like there could be multiple nominations for original songs used. The use of Lizzo as a
Yes.
singing narrator. Are you okay? The second version of the song being
Yeah.
You okay, girl?
yeah,
Okay.
and she's saying
Imminent death or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
changing the lyrics. So funny, so good.
I mean, very Greek chorus,
Yeah.
interpreting the thoughts and feelings of our hero and really nailing it for our
So it was a big win. The soundtrack and score were a big win for me on this film.
A lot of fun. How do you feel about Matchbox 20's Push? being featured heavily?
I can remember. So I have a visceral
Here
memory
we go.
of
Here's
sitting.
a dude loving Push. Here
No,
it
no,
comes.
no. I have a visceral memory of that song coming out. We had a 5 CD changer sound system
Sure.
that my dad got paid. Someone couldn't pay my dad as a vendor for making machine parts, so they paid him in speakers and a sound system. And then so we had that in our living room, and our friends, the Barnabases, were over, and they were brother and sister, Mega and Rajesh, Barnabas, Irish Indian, biracial people, beautiful people, my favorite kind of people, some of my best.
Oh no, he's
No.
trumping.
So we put in that Matchbox 20 album, and that song came on, and Mega was like, "This song is awful. Listen to the lyrics of this."
Yeah.
And up until that point, it was one of those minivan rock songs that I'd listen to in the car. Probably never listened to 3 of the words coherently
Sure.
together. It was just Meh.
Yeah.
It is. It's a terrible song. The fact that all the Kens are drawn to it.
Yeah.
God bless him. I know what's his name, Mark Thompson, whatever. What's the Matchbox 20
Rob
guy?
Thomas.
Rob
Rob
Thomas. Mark Thompson is my cousin. Rob Thomas.
Does he know the Barnabas?
I know he has spoken about not liking that song and
Sure.
being I regret the message of that song being distorted. My words were not clear. Perfect song. to
Blaming
use.
us for not understanding.
Yeah, he's like, you idiots. No, toxic masculinity through Matchbox 20's.
It's a good choice.
Yeah, great song. Great choice.
After he was initially defensive about it in the 90s when
Sure,
feminists were
sure,
coming
good
after him,
shit.
he's like, what? No, I wrote it from the perspective of an abused man. What are
Yeah.
you talking about? Hey, the 90s, different time. We
Yeah.
didn't know we had to be
Different
good.
time.
Us too back in the 90s. Now it's me too. That's what Rob Thomas was saying. Us too. He was saying that preemptively. He was a precog. Let's avoid that. Let's cut that.
My favorite song
Dashiell,
in
can you
this,
cut that?
my favorite song in this movie was Rob Thomas's "Smooth,"
Yes.
which is not in the movie, but I just heard it.
This
in
is
my
your
head.
favorite song.
Yeah, it's my favorite song in every
It's
movie.
always running.
It's just my all-time favorite song. No, the music, it's gonna be 5 out of 5 for me because while there are times where it's like there's no like score. It's just kind of using the sound, but the way it uses the soundtrack is as a score. As Tommy explained, they distort it. It's almost like Inception using one of the songs in the soundtrack to be pieces of the score. That's the same shit happened here, and god damn, what a fucking great soundtrack. It's perfect. It serves the movie exactly as you need it to, and the way they can use it both thematically and just aesthetically. It's one of the best uses of a film soundtrack, and I think this is gonna like break records just for the soundtrack too.
I'm gonna go online and buy a limited pressing of the record
I recommend
to go next to my collection, which includes The Age of Pleasure by Janelle Monáe.
You have it up next to candles.
I got the blue one.
Candles and oil.
Candles, scented oils, some just silk sheets that I lay down on the couch,
For
and then I
her?
get all silky.
For her?
Yeah,
Would you
well,
go
it's
see
for
her
me,
concert?
but it's
Okay.
it's for her, for me, by her. Anyway, Brandon, what'd you think?
Does I'm a Ken have a longer shelf life than the Peaches song from Mario?
Ooh.
The Mario movie?
Ooh, no, I don't think so. Just because
Until
Mario's
it
gonna be a
becomes-
bigger movie. I don't know if Barbie will be
Until I'm Just a Ken is on TikTok and viral,
Yeah.
then
Oh, if it gets,
if it gets,
I
because
think
that's
it
what the
will.
Peaches did. It
You don't
got
think it'll
viral
break
on
through?
TikTok.
It'll break
If it breaks through, I mean, it's been out for 2 days or
Right,
at least one
right.
day. And
If
it's,
anybody can dethrone Peaches, it'll be I'm Just a Kid.
Also, if you're listening out there, Mattel, where's my I'm Ken Enough hoodie, please?
Yeah.
they're going, they're working.
No,
on it.
they should have had it ready to go. This is like Disney dropping the ball
But
on,
did you
on
notice-
Grogu.
Did you notice that it looked like a pickup shot, and then you could see that it clearly was like a green screen behind him, and he's only in the shot by himself, waving away? Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So
Oh,
it was
I
just
did
like
not
a weird
notice that.
pickup shot for that.
What, did
Maybe
they
Mattel
film
was
it
like,
during Ant-Man Quantumania
fine.
with the rest of the
That's
people
fine.
that clearly aren't around any other human beings?
yeah. Can't they? Mattel was like, we need to get this merch out there, and then just
Merch
threw him out there.
Get that merch out there.
I'm gonna give it. I was originally gonna give this a 3, and then you guys, what you said made me bump it up to a 4. But then you know why I'm gonna now bump it up to a 5 because I
Oh.
just remembered they didn't put Taylor Swift in it. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much because I think that was one of the people we were all like, this is going to be the surprise artist. This has to be an artist in it because it's Taylor Swift. And Greta Gerwig went, no. I want as much diversity in the soundtrack as possible. And I think going for the stereotypical Barbie in music won't make this a good thing. I want the actual Barbie Nicki Minaj, and I'll give her that. And I did not like the Nicki Minaj Ice Spice song. I did not. But I think it worked so well at the end, being like,
was good
I'm
for
here
the
to see the
credits.
gynecologist, and then go to the
Yeah,
credits.
yeah.
Why is it better for the credits than it is just listening to it?
I think it works. It just works well after like you've kind of been microdosed with pop that whole
Maybe.
movie, and then they just
yeah.
hit you with like
Because it was
the
that bass
latest
that came
version of
in
pop song.
when it would switch, and I
Right,
was like,
right.
this sounds really good now. I did not like this before, but now I do.
I thought it was a good shot they took at the Mario movie by having Peaches fuck the pain away in the album. The band Peaches.
I didn't catch that. In
The singer
my,
Peaches, the artist
I
Peaches.
didn't catch.
It's a little Easter egg
Okay. I loved
that was hidden inside me
Yeah.
the whole time.
I love
Pulled
the
it out.
runner of the Indigo Girls song.
So good.
Just like a weird, and it was always the weird same part of the
Yes.
verse into chorus, and it was just like, I don't know, it was very interesting. Yeah, so much fun with the music, and it was definitely like a whole ass piece of this movie, you know.
A whole ass piece.
A whole ass piece of this
No.
movie. You know, a good score you
Stop.
don't really
I've gotta
notice,
call
you're just
her.
like in the moment, but like you notice this score, but it's important and it's cueing you in on it.
Can I share something that we had to cut out of my Barbie Oppenheimer
please,
review?
please.
It exists somewhere in the archives, but I described the movie as hilarious, sexy, but wholesome. But I said it so fast that literally I say sexy but wholesome, and it sounds like I say
Sexy
sexy
but
butthole,
wholesome.
and I'm like,
Some.
you have
Hey,
to.
once you got
cut
Ice
out-
Spice and Nicki
Sexy
Minaj in
metal.
the album,
Yeah.
she was too afraid to put Lotto in there.
Yeah.
She was
Oh,
like,
she
oh,
can't put
I'm not
Big
putting
Lotto in
that
there.
big ol' ass up in here.
Big Lotto.
Sorry, I
What do we
forget
call it?
that-
Ice Spice's small ass? You
not
seen
even
that
in
thing?
that.
I forgot we were live for a moment. I let the Ken come out of me.
Final music score.
I'd like her to push me around.
You gave it a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5 music. for me.
Jessica, you were up to a 5?
I'm up to a 5.
Because of a lack of Taylor Swift. This was the jazz version. It's the Taylor Swift you're not hearing that makes it great.
The only white blonde in this soundtrack is Billie Eilish. White blonde.
And I'll give it, like my shop teacher's twin brother, a 10.
I don't think you can give it 10.
I'm a 10. That's
I like the idea that your shop teacher did do this bit, and then your shop teacher would bring in his twin brother. to do the
already
bit,
has
who's
to
missing
get
a
the same-
different finger because you're expecting the same finger to be
That's a
missing. I don't know.
Christopher Nolan reference, so that they both
Oh
can do the
yeah,
magic
so they can
trick.
do the trick. Gotcha.
Prestige.
I will also give the sound
thought we were talking about
score
Interstellar.
music 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5
Wow,
for
across
me
the
too.
board.
Yeah.
Do we get confetti cannons?
10.
So
Tens.
Evan's going to be tallying up the final scores here for the movie. Any last little moments that stick out with you that make you really joyful? I really liked when Alan, when we go back after the Kents have taken over, he now just has like a horse thing on his
Yes,
shirt.
yeah.
Even though he doesn't like horses.
He doesn't want to participate.
And that horses are just an extension of a man.
I like that when Issa Rae got to curse, and then a little sticker of Mattel went over her mouth when she got to curse.
That was terrific.
I think that'll get big laughs from the kiddos in the audience too. You know, I liked Weirdo Barbie, Kate McKinnon, genius.
Yeah.
Usually 10 levels too much. Often in a film where it's like everyone else doing normal acting, not normal acting, but like kind of grounded acting.
Sure.
In a film like this, thought she fit right in.
She has to be weird in a weird movie.
Yeah, thought she was really funny. All the visual gags at her like house where she had the other like rejected or Barbies that have been discontinued, and the Ken's sugar daddy Ken and
Magic earring.
Yes.
Can I say one thing that I
You can say
found out
one
today?
thing.
That I found out today that I didn't know. Did you know that Kate McKinnon and her went to college together?
Margot Robbie?
No, Greta Gerwig.
Oh, I
they went
did
to
not
college
know.
together. They were on the same sketch team, and they would do improv together, and they were roommates. And when they were 18,
You can't work with your friends that do improv.
well, they were like, she mentions it. She was like, for almost like we're 30. She was like, we're like in our 40s now. And I called her back because I was like, this is the only person that can play the weird Barbie is my college roommate. And I was like, that's such a fun little tidbit. A fun little tidbit.
Nepotism is what it sounds like to me.
No,
That's
it's
not
friends.
nepotism. It's
Friends
friendship.
is
Just
a
kidding, I'm
nepotism.
kidding.
We got so defensive of nepotism. We're gonna become best
Jesus,
friends.
who
with
are your
friends.
guys' parents? Are we about to find out, or are there your children that you're going to be giving jobs to?
Probably.
Who's to say?
I have
husband
the
is
final
Morgan
score.
Freeman.
Our final score for this film. Oh, and it is.
Can I leave?
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Can I say it?
Yeah. Is this out of 100? I assume.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't do
It's-
math that fast.
La La Land.
Whoa!
It's La.
You're
it's
putting
La
my
La
hand
Land.
behind a
No,
solid
no.
card.
No,
Hold
so
on.
they can see it.
Moonlight, you won. That guy's my favorite. The one who got
And he was
You're the
mad.
winners. No,
He's so
this is-
mad.
He was so mad.
It's a 90.5.
He beat the shit out of Warren Beatty after
Almost
the
the same
Oscars.
age as Clint Eastwood.
Almost. It's a 90.5.
Is that the highest since you guys started?
I
doing
hope
this?
so.
I hope so, but
No,
I
think
fear
I
it's
think
Across the
not.
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse.
Oh,
Oh,
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse is a deserving companion.
yeah.
It's
And it was me and Jay on that episode, so we just did fives across the board. The entire time.
for the culture.
Yeah, I think I think we were all very happy with the outcome of this movie. I think really, really incredible stuff, and I think it's good. It's very approachable for lots of people in different ways.
Yes.
Which I think will help it a lot. And maybe it didn't go all the way we want it to go, but I think it's good for movies. What a Tom Cruise thing to say.
Yeah.
You know what?
Oh, you're gross.
I know.
The way it was meant to be seen, way up on a big screen.
Yeah.
As you levitate. 'cause
I love
level
my popcorn.
7.
I love my popcorn.
Above
Gotta
the
have
corpse
my
of your
popcorn.
friend David's wife, Shelley.
And now he gave us like our favorite things when we greet each other. We
Yeah.
go, "Hi Barbie, hi Barbie,
Hi, Barbie.
hi Barbie,
Hi, Barbie.
hi Barbie."
Hi, Barbie.
Hi,
and
Barbie.
goodbye, Barbie. Subscribe to the Breakroom channel on YouTube where you can catch all the cutdowns and replays of all of our streams, as well as other exclusive content. We'll catch you later. Later, skaters. Goodbye.
Bye, Barbie.
Catch you next time.
Bye Barbie.
I'm out of here.